everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to some Vault Hunters. We are here now that we've reached level 20. I kind of consider this getting into the mid-game. Obviously, if you've been following along in the quest book, you get to the level 20 changes and it will tell you all about dying in the vault. No longer keeps your items. But when we get down to the spirit extractor, where's the spirit extractor quest? So I think they've taken that quest out. But anyways, you're going to want to make one of these because if you die in the vault, you lose everything, all of the gear that you're wearing, except anything that had soulbound. So sometimes soulbound might be something that is not too bad on your gear if you think you're not very strong. But yeah, it's kind of weird that there's no soul extractor quest here. Oh, revival. This is the one. So new things, you'll start finding dungeon doors, and as well we'll get the scavenger hunt type of vault, where you've got to hunt down some items and turn them in at the at a specific point inside the vault, and when you get all of the items, then you'll complete the vault. It's actually one of the most difficult vaults that I've come across in the regular in the past. My most hated kind of vault was the scavenger vault, but maybe they've kind of tweaked some of the values that you have to get and the randomness of the items. Like, yeah, it can be quite hard, actually. So we should also be now starting to find some artifacts if you haven't found any already. So you'll get them in your completion crates after level 20. And we need to find 25 unique artifacts. A lot of time you'll get the artifact scroll, and when you roll it, it's got a chance 1 in 25 to get a specific one, right? So you need to get the 25 different ones. Oh, and there's a new book, I guess, the Artifact Tome. And you just have to follow along, I guess. You don't have to guess where all the pieces go anymore. That's a nice quality of life improvement there. Yeah, and then when you get duplicates, you can drop them into fire and you'll get an artifact fragment, which you probably craft a whole bunch of artifact fragments together and you'll get a new artifact. Oh, this is actually going to give us an unidentified artifact once we get the tome. That's a fairly difficult recipe, not too hard, but not easy either. So the 5 chromatic steel we know. The black chromatic steel is the new thing that kind of crept up on us there. I think we needed the black chromatic for this guy here before the Vault Soul Diffuser. So that is made with 8 chromatic steel and a perfect black opal. So the next tier of vault ore, so to speak, is the black chromatic. After the chromatic steel comes the black chromatic steel. A bunch of things that of the quests that came up that I squared away since the last video. So I think we left off here at the jewel applicator. We may have even left off. No, we left off at the alchemy table, right? Because I had to go hunting for a gas tier. This is where we left off. So once you get your alchemy table, if you want to modify your vault potion, you just have to pay the cost. probably wouldn't suggest doing that until you've got some upgraded potions, because the basic potion doesn't get very good upgrades either. So it's something I skip personally at this point, but maybe a little bit later on in the playthrough, maybe we'll get better potions and we'll be using the alchemy table. So then came the jewel cutting station. This is actually one of the more handier stations because you can reduce the size of your jewels. But there's an offset to it, right? So if you cut a jewel, it will randomly reduce it between 1 and 4 size, but it will remove one of the affixes. So if there's only one thing on it, you don't have to worry, and you could probably do this as many. Oh no, if there's one left, it will break. And all you get back is a gemstone and some woodadite to recraft again. So basically what I did with my next expertises is I went for the jeweler here because it gives us free cuts without removing the affix. So we'll be able to reduce the size of the gems that we're putting on and give us access to get more modifiers on our vault gear, because at level 20 we do get access to the next tier of picks the vault tools, right? So chromatic steel. So I'll be getting one of these kind of when this one's still got 1,000 durability, so I'm gonna keep using that one for now, but maybe 2 or 3 vaults depending on how many ore POIs we find. I'll be keeping that guy and then be crafting the next chromatic steel version after that, and then we've got tons of jewels to go through. I've got to pare this down. I've done it once already, I think down to about here or so. I've done got all my coin affinity jewels and just kept the smallest ones. Got all my living affinity jewels and just kept the smallest ones, right? So on and so forth. And that's how I keep my number of jewels that I have going at any one time under control. And then those all go into the vault recycler, and you'll get back gemstones, and what else do we get back? Silver scrap out of those. The other thing that we made along the way here was the identification stand, which basically, if you've got unidentified vault gear, you just have to click this and it will identify it all for you instantly. You no longer have to click on it on your hotbar and wait for it to roll like ding. This is really one of the most handy stations in the game as well. But the absolute most handiest is the Vault Soul Diffuser. Basically, this will take any item that has soul value. So see here, the Orb of Regret has 144 soul value. So we'll just take the 34 out of there. You know what? I don't think I'm going to burn one of those guys because I kind of like them. Piece of carbon's got 2 soul value. Throw it in there and we'll get 2 soul dust out of it. And with this soul dust, we just come on over, and 9 soul dust will make us 1 soul shard. So it's not the best rate of return, but it is pretty much free soul shards for you. So I don't shake my nose at it at all. I just take whatever kind of free resources we can get along the way. And the soul shards are used at the black market here. So you can buy items in here for soul shards. So this is what you've been collecting all those soul shards all along for. what I do have waited on since I recorded last time was I was collecting all of my reward crates. So I've got 8 bounty crates to claim and 3 vault crates to claim. One is a brazier. Oh, all 3 of them are brazier crates. I don't think any of them have a chance to have an artifact in them because they're all pre-level 20, but let's just take this. I have 2 knowledge stars now built up, 18 orbs of regret. Oh, and we'll turn. Oh, this is all clear, so this'll grab all of the items as they come out. We ended up getting 2 mystery boxes, some gear. This is pretty good right here. 20 chromatic steel, 32 netherite ingots. So I now have as much netherite as I could possibly need. A little bit of diamonds, some random gems. Nothing too special. So let's turn that off now and turn our magnet off. Yeah, nothing super special here. Mystery egg. Yeah, nothing super special there either. And lastly, all right. I do get a chance to show off this gear identification station now. Just going to pull out everything that's not gear. So all of this stuff that I have there to identify now, I just come over here, click, and it's all identified for me. I really love that. I really love that station. But anyways, at this point in the pack, you really do have to be careful when you're inside the vaults, because when you die, you're gonna lose everything until you make, I guess, the what's it called? Spirit extractor. That's the other thing we have to queue up here. Now I have under a couple more black chromatic steel, so. And then, yeah, you'll have to spend a certain amount of vault gold to get all of your items back. And I think the amount of vault gold will depend on the level of your gear and how many times you've died. I think are the multipliers for the amount of vault gold that it takes to get your stuff back. Also, we're getting up there in the levels. The requirements for our vault crystals are starting to go up. So this one's not too bad, but it's going to necessitate looking at making some farms. So I've got just standard, just Minecraft farm here, just the basic stuff just for now, but I've also got this many tiered. And there was a creeper there. I really do need to till all the soil so that mobs stop spawning on there. But each level, like this will be my potato level, for example. And then, oh yeah, I've got to dig that out down there and get more levels, but I'll have one level for melons, 1 melon for pumpkins, wheat, carrots, potatoes, beetroot, so on and so forth, because once you get into the, levels 50s, 60s, and 70s, it's going to be asking you for thousands of those items. Where are you, Mr. Creeper? Did you walk off the edge somewhere? And then the other thing that I've made, which is special for Vault Hunters, is an animal pen. These, oh, there you are. Turn my magnet back on and go find my... He didn't even drop any gunpowder, because I need 20 for my Vault Crystal. Sad. Anyways, back to the animal pens. So you need animal jars and animal pens, and this eliminates the need for setting up just like a cage for your animals, and it's a lot handier and a lot better. And animal. So you need to craft an animal jar. It takes 1 polished vault stone, which is just cobblestone cooked in the furnace, 7 glass, and you'll get an animal jar. You run around, and then you shift and right-click on an animal, and it will go into the jar. And you can only have 1 animal type per jar. And then you'll build this animal pen, which is 3 more polished vault stone and 2 fences. That will make your animal pen. You basically click your jar on the animal pen, and they will be stuck in there. Now this animal pen right now has 24 sheep in it. So if I come over here and I grab, 22, 23, 24, perfect. So basically, if I just right-click the wheat on there, I'll now have 36 sheep because we got 12 more because we bred basically, yeah, breeding 24 sheep will give you 12 baby sheep, right? So it works out the same as a regular pen, reduces lag a ton because you don't have all those animals crowding around in there and pathing issues and all of that stuff. I only have the 1 for now because only sheep, mutton came up in my vault thing so far, but pretty soon I'll be making ones for the other basic animals, your cows, chickens, and pigs. But you can also put things like turtles in here, and you can get turtle eggs out of them. With chickens, you can get eggs if you use a bucket on it instead of killing the chickens to get the chicken meat and the feathers. There's a couple other mobs that you can put in there that I'm forgetting off the top of my head though right now. But they're super handy, and I really like, it's one of the things I really like that they added to this pack is those animal pens. So yeah, the focus moving forward now. Oh, I guess I should talk about where I've spent all of my skill points or my knowledge points. I've put all of them into vault storage. So I got the double pouches, as I said in the last, and then I spent 3 more to get the belts, which is basically 2 double pouches put together. So my backpack essentially now is this big. And I've got lots of overflow space. If I get more than 1 stack of raw carbon, it fills up these empty slots there. So on and so forth, right? Especially like things like the carbon, the platings, the bronze coins. Ah, I remember now. Okay. The bronze coins, so on and so forth. Those things that you just get tons of will end up in here. And then I've made myself a second set of double pouches. I looked in here just a minute ago, but this will be where I have set aside for the bounty or the scavenger hunt. So I'll have this set up for doing scavenger hunt and to grab all of the excess junk, like the decorative items. All these things with 1 soul value. Basically, I'm collecting them every vault, and I'm just dumping them in here, and that's where I'm getting all of these extra soul shards. So like 2 vaults that I just completed, I got 2.5 stacks of soul shards just by collecting all of that garbage that we find in there. So anyways, that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I think that's going to conclude all of my beginner tutorial type stuff on this pack, because if you've made it this far, you should have a pretty good understanding of everything that's going on in here. As I mentioned in the other one, consult your quest book for information, as well as the manual that they give you at the beginning of the game. Oh, there it is down here. Every once in a while, do take your time inside the vault if you find a chromatic iron room, and just grab yourself a bunch of chromatic iron in there, especially if you've got your silk touch pick. Basically, you know, grab 2 or 3 stacks of chromatic iron ore, and that'll keep you tied over for quite a while in the overworld here. For other things like gold and iron and stuff like that, eventually we'll have to make farms for that. So just search up on YouTube if you want to make an iron farm. It's pretty simple. Gold farms, you have to build them on the nether, preferably the nether roof. It's a little bit more complicated, but if you find a good tutorial, it'll explain it pretty easily for you in there. At this stage in the pack, you should be pretty well off not to have to need that too much. I guess the last thing is, as you're breaking down some of the garbage gear that you find in there, you'll be getting this vault scrap, and this you can eventually make the vaulterite ingots, which you use to make the repair cores. And this is what you'll use to repair your gear, but probably not worth doing until you've got something that's really, really nice, because up until like level 40 or so, you'll probably be replacing your equipment quite frequently, especially as the values of the implicit goes. So the implicits is so let's say the first set of stats there. So 6 armor, 687 durability, and 3.5 ability power. Those tiers keep going up pretty quick at the beginning of the game and through the mid game as well. But until you find a really good set of implicits with the perfect prefixes and suffixes, it's probably better just to replace your gear and not worry about repairing it necessarily. That's just my opinion. You might have different one, and the repair cores are super easy to make anyways, right? It's just a bunch of these guys along with some painite, which isn't really used for much else anyways. Like, you can make some red vault essence, which itself is just used for memory shards, and I don't even know what the memory crystals are used for. But painite really doesn't have any other use other than making the repair cores, and it's not an uncommon gem in the vaults, but you know, I've already got 29 of it here. Brings me up another pet peeve that I've got is they've still got this regular textured ore that you find in the Crystal Caverns rooms. I really wish they would just switch it over to the vault stone, because it's better. I think it's better looking, and then it also takes up twice the amount of space. Like, I wouldn't need to have a double chest here if I wasn't getting this regular vault stone ores. That's my gripe for this episode anyways. I'm finished rambling at this point. I appreciate you all for checking out the episode, and we will see you in the next one.